And so first off, Rachel, what are you grateful for?
Well, at the expense of sounding cliche, because I am a life coach as well, this is just coming off of a very personal event this week. I am actually really, really grateful for the fact that I became a life coach and I learned coaching psychology, and I have brilliant coaches in my lives because, like I said, this week was a challenge, and without having that in my life, things would look exponentially different for me, and not in a good way. So I'm so grateful for finding life coaching. So cliche, but it's so truthful.
Well, I think it's very truthful. We all, going through life alone, going through business alone can be really, really difficult. There are people out there who are just going to know more, and grabbing onto those people and learning, and then becoming the teacher, and grabbing onto somebody else and learning more, and then becoming the teacher. That's what it's all about in any situation. It takes other people to help us grow. It takes other situations. It takes being a seeker, which I think is really, really important. I'm a seeker, and I want to surround myself with seekers. I don't want to get stuck. And I want to continue to learn, and then to be a teacher. And it can get hard, and so we lean on those people to help us through. Yeah?
Oh, hands down, hands down.
Yeah.
And I think entrepreneurship is hard. I've said I have worked for corporate America. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I have been an entrepreneur, and hands down, being an entrepreneur has been the hardest.
Yeah.
But for me, the most rewarding journey.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm with you. As an entrepreneur, and every day still figuring it out. What can I do? What can I learn? How can I be better? What more is there? It's an everyday journey. I think even when you are in your successful place, there's always what more is there? What can I do to do more, to bring more, to share more, to give more? All of those things. So. I would say that's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for, I think, being surrounded, and I'm intentional with who I surround myself with, for one. And like I said, being surrounded by seekers, by amazing women who are supportive and giving and caring, and most of them are entrepreneurs. That's just, I guess, being an entrepreneur, that's a lot of times what happens, and you're just surrounded by entrepreneurs, and you have the ability to share and to cry and to scream and to celebrate and all of the things that come along with it. So
all of it.
I know.
Yeah. And they totally get you. That's the thing. Right?
Yes.
They're like, oh, girl, I've got you.
Yeah.
I totally have been there. I can totally empathize.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the brilliance of it.
It is. It's so much fun. So let's just go ahead and jump in, and let's talk about you. So let's talk a little bit about, who you are, where you came from, your story, how you got to where you are, what excites you, all of the fun things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of years. So I originally grew up in northern Wisconsin, like literally out in this, like, I call it the sticks. So no offense to anybody that's in the sticks. I'm one of you. But I grew up like in the woods, and we raised our food, and we grew our plants, right? We harvested our animals, which were always my friends. And so
it's hard.
I know. Oh my gosh.
It's part of life, but it is hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there was a reason I didn't eat chicken for 10 years. I was channeling my inner Shelby. That's what her name was. But I really, I feel grateful now, right? Hindsight. But I feel so grateful now because I was allowed the opportunity to experience Earth and food the way it is supposed to be experienced.
Yes.
Not just from the shelf at the grocery store or in a package. It's like I would just walk out with my little bowl and get my peas and tomatoes and eat them. And it was like very, at the time, I'm sure I was poo-pooing because I know I was. Because I was like, I just want Captain Crunch. why won't my mom buy me some Captain Crunch?
Right. I know.
But now
yeah.
I'm so grateful. So I've always had that base, and just through life, ended up in Vail, then moved down to Denver, started a family. I was working for corporate America. I was, quite frankly, I was selling windows and doors to Home Depot and Lowe's.
Okay.
And a series of traumas happened in my life that I was like, and I had an infant and an almost 2-year-old, so back-to-back babies. And I was like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I doing? Like, there is so much going on in this world. There is so much trauma. There's so much suffering. I'm seeing, people being medicated, and no one is talking about all the other things that contribute to the condition, mental health in particular. And I was like, I have to change this world. If it's just by changing one person's life, it's like, I cannot exit this earth and leave my babies in this condition. It's my obligation, it's my responsibility. And so I started thinking about, well, what do I believe in? What do I know to be true? The body can heal itself. That I know that there's other modalities for people to feel well and have abundant lives and not have mental health issues. And I don't just talk about mental health either. I just went back to that, and it was so interesting because I discovered that there's this whole thing called nutrition therapy.
Right?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wait, way cool. Nutrition Therapy Institute is literally down the road from my house. Like, it was a straight shot.
Yeah.
2 miles down the road. And I was like, thank you, universe. Door is open. Let's go. And so it went, got certified in my nutrition therapy, walked away from corporate America, and just, I've probably looked back many times, let's be real, in being an entrepreneur, like, oh God, this is a great thing. But honestly, never look back. I love what I do. And then from there, the businesses, I should say, has just progressed. It's gone from being Nutrition Works to Whole Woman Health, to incorporating life coaching, bringing in health and wellness coaching, which is also a different modality. I did that through Well Coaches, life coaching through the Life Coach School, bringing on practitioners, because another passion of mine is helping other women be able to have careers, be caregivers, make the money that they want, no glass ceilings, seats at tables, decision making. Like, that was another foundation and core value of mine.
Yeah.
So this has just, over the 11 years progressed, and I think we're a pretty good powerhouse, and I'm really proud of what and I say we, the team does for women in our community. We do specialize in working with women, and during the pandemic, I did a little bit of an offshoot, and I said, I have to help up. Now it's my turn, right? As Michelle Obama says, like, reach back. When you get there, reach back and bring someone with you. And so that's when I opened Six Figure Nutritionist, and I do mentoring for other nutrition therapists who really, really want to make this their career.
Yeah.
And whether they want to make 6 figures or not, I think that should be our minimum baseline.
Yeah.
But where if there's at 0 clients and $0, or they want to make $1 million or $10 million, I will be their mentor for them. So that's the evolution of life and business and career for me.
I love it. I mean, there's so much that we can take from that, and there's so many questions that I have. But I think I'm going to start with maybe the simple stuff, because we're both nerds. I love talking nerd talk, and I love talking about nutrition and biochemistry and all of the fun stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about your practice. And have you always only seen women, or has that evolved?
That has evolved.
Okay.
So last year we made a brand change, a conscious brand change, and I decided to work only. I mean, here's the thing. I have plenty of men that call us, and we work with them.
Sure. Okay.
But we don't market to men. We
Yeah.
really want to specialize in working with women. And all the conditions and things that they experience in life that we are specialists in.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were about to say something else. It's interesting because I would say, there are times when I market more to women, but my practice certainly is more women than anything else. I have been, and the men who I do see are type A, super motivated. I need this, and I need to get healthy right now, or I need to get better, or whatever the case may be, whether they're optimizing or whatever the issue is. But something about most people who I talk to in this business, they see mostly women. I just find that really interesting. I don't know if we are, I don't know, maybe it's because we're just naturally caretakers. I have no idea, but it is interesting. But I enjoy it too. I mean, I guess because, we relate, right? And so as you're saying, when you...
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my experience, it has been, there's probably a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Societal things, marketing, who we're comfortable working with as entrepreneurs. But I think in my experience, women are reaching out.
Right.
Now, is that on us as entrepreneurs to make it more available to men and okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, here's another realm for you, and we totally get you and what you're going through too. Yeah, I guess it is. There's a two-part. One, we need to let them know that we're there for them, and two, they need to be willing to come to the center as well.
Sure.
And as an entrepreneur, you're going to market and sell to the people who are going to buy and pay for your services.
Right.
If they're not showing up, we can't market to them.
Sure.
Not that we can't, we're just not going to.
Yeah.
It's not a good ROI.
Right.
So there's a little bit, I think, of a societal shift that probably needs to happen from both sides.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, in your practice, you're doing nutrition therapy, you're doing life coaching also, is that right? And
yeah, we do a combination. So we do combination health, life, and nutrition therapy, functional medicine as well, so laboratory testing.
Right.
And package that together depending on the client. Some of them just need nutrition therapy. Some of them need a combination of everything. Mm-hmm. I will say that I believe that everybody needs some type of coaching psychology.
Yeah.
You just do. If you're making a lifestyle change, you need to know how to get your brain on board and generate action to create these results. Right. Otherwise, you'll fall back into old patterns, and it's going to make that process a lot harder. So for our practice in particular, that has been the number one differentiator in our ability to serve our clients, and quite frankly, then our ability to grow and make more money.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting. And I have, who works with me, also a health coach she's a certified functional medicine health coach. And so because I don't have that background, mine is all nutrition, functional nutrition. I like the labs, I like the nerdy stuff and the numbers and looking at how the body's functioning. But I know that there's such an important aspect when it comes to, connecting the mind with the body and making those shifts, which is why I made the decision to bring on in my practice a health coach who has that aspect of it as well, because it's so important to be able to help people through maybe some of the negative thoughts, or maybe it's the relationships, as you're trying to change and you have the relationships in the household. There's simple things as I have to cook differently for me and as well as other people, they're just totally not on board and they don't support me, or everything's great. I think there's so much to it, but having that piece of it is, I agree with you, is key. And I'm grateful to have somebody who has that, because I'm okay at it, but I'm not trained in it, right? And so I think it's important also. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just going to congratulate you for that, because with some of the women that I have worked with, nutritionists that I've worked with from a mentorship perspective, there can be this initial feeling of like, oh my gosh, if I have somebody else, this health coach, then I'm going to lose that client to that health coach. Mm-hmm. Like if they're not in your organization, per se, or the feeling of like, I'm good enough because I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's our obligation, it's our responsibility to serve our client in all, whatever facet we serve them. So I just want to say congratulations and well done and for being an example for that, because it is so important to do whatever needs to be done for the client to get the results that they came to you for.
Right. Totally agree. And I think that's another reason why when I talk about surrounding myself with other amazing people, is so many of them are people who do things way outside of what I do. So whether it's the chiropractors or the neurologists or you know, the PT or the fitness, you know, professional, whatever the case may be, I know that I can't do it all, but I also know that I want to have a network of people who I know, again, are amazing at what they do. And you know, there's so often, you know, when we're dealing with clients who are incredibly complicated, you know, say you have a Lyme case or mold or something like that, when so often you need they have to have a team, especially with Lyme, because with Lyme you're going to have, you know, these co-infections and all kinds of stuff that can go along with that. Anytime I've ever worked with Lyme, it's been as a team. And I think for anybody out there who may be dealing with, I mean, we talked about this last week. We talked about Lyme. But if you're dealing with anything that's really complicated, I have an ALS client, right? So you want to make sure you have a team of people who are there to help you, who are good at the part that they do, because one person, two people, I don't think is enough when you're dealing with all kinds of things. And you want to have your people who can work together for your benefit. And I think that that's really important. And I think it's great too when you have a practice like you do, Rachel, that is, you have a lot of that in-house. My assumption is y'all will come together and, you know, you work together as a team on a client, especially if it's complicated, when it's necessary, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just did that at our staff meeting on Monday. I was
Great.
like, help me out here.
Yeah.
And we collaborated. All of our brains came together, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It honestly was amazing. And we came up with the solution. I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. Like, awesome. There it is, right?
Yeah.
And so we could deliver that to the client. So she's on her way now. It's really important. It's so important, because I think you know this too, right? With what we do, there's so much. There's so much, and you can feel. I think if you try to go it alone, it can feel very overwhelming. Yeah. And I know, like, when I was going it alone, I felt like I was failing a lot. Yeah. Like, wait a second, no, that's not even a fair statement. You just can't do it all.
Can't do it all.
Have some grace.
Yeah. It's true. It can be hard. I only have the two of us, and you know, it is so nice to be able to, even if it's just her or any of my other counterparts, right? Who we call it nerd time, right? So we take the time to get together, talk about our practice, talk about our patients or clients, depending on, you know, who we are, and you know, we take it, and it's so helpful as a practitioner to have the sounding board and the people who can help guide you through. You know, you just text somebody, what do you think about this? What can we do? Or what do you think about these labs? Or what do you think about, you know, this situation? You know, what labs would you do for this situation? Because there's really, there oftentimes there are multiple approaches to, and you got to figure it out for the individual. And so it can be, it's amazing and difficult and hard all at the same time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, totally.
Yeah.
And I think for anybody listening who is on the client side, to also recognize that grace with themselves too, because we're saying how hard it is on our end and how much we put into it, but we got to remember that there's a client on the other end, and they're experiencing that hard and that confusion, and to let them know, like, that's totally normal and it's totally okay, and it's a process, but you know, hopefully the team that you have built has your back. Right. So grace with yourself too.
Yeah, I had a call yesterday. This person is not a client yet, but just as you were talking about, she's dealing. It's a mold situation, and she's trying to figure out why she still feels so bad. She's not in the home anymore. And I started talking to her, through what it is that we're going to have to do. And she was afraid of it because it's going to bring up symptoms again. You start to mobilize toxins and they bring up symptoms again. And so there's always, there are the fears, but there's always knowing that you're going to get beyond that point. And that's what you have to look forward to, is getting beyond that point, finding the people who can help you. She might need a team as well. And just getting over the hump, because those symptoms are scary. They can be really scary when you're going through that detoxification of mold and parasites and all of the crazies. Yeah.
It's a lot. We call it the river of misery.
There you go.
It's like, please pay us money so we can walk you through a river of misery. But it's true. It's like you're on the bank on one side.
Yep.
And you see on the other side, like, that is health and wellness and optimization and longevity, right? But you have to go through this big, scary river. And usually when they're right in the middle, which I'm running a cohort right now with our SHED program, and they are in the middle.
Yeah.
And they are freaking out. And I'm like, oh, good. Like, right? So here's,
right.
I love you all, and you're exactly where you're supposed to. And that's the moment where you're like, I'm in the weeds, I'm in the middle of the river. Here's my two options, right? I can go back, I can have the old life that I had, or I can trust and I can keep moving forward, knowing that there's going to be there's another shore on the other side, and that's the ultimate place that I'm going to go.
Yes.
So there's always that river that we have to cross, and there's always the scary, confusing, awful point. But I promise, for anybody who's listening, keep going, because right, you don't want to go back to what it was, and you will feel so much better once you get to the other side.
Yeah, agreed. And I love the analogy. I might steal it a little bit. It's great.
Please do. It works very well.
It's great. It's such a great visual.
Pay me for misery.
I know. So let's talk about your SHED program. Since you mentioned it, let's talk about it a little bit. What's it about?
I love my shedders. It's so funny when I say that. I was like, gotta make sure we pronounce it right. But the SHED program, it's simple, healthy, effective detox. It's a 90-day lifestyle. So I'm really clear about that because, we don't do quick fixes. We don't do fad diets. We just don't, right? So it's got to be, if a woman wants to join, she's got to be ready to make a lifestyle. And it is, I love the women in it. I love to see this growth because it is like this beautiful combination of true functional medicine. We do lab testing, nutrition therapy, right? We're helping these women. There's some women in the group who are like, oh my gosh, your EBV is flaring, or you've got a bacterial, and like, we can do all this.
Sure.
And we've got this massive dose of mindset coaching so that they're actually changing their lives. They're changing the chemistry and the neural pathways in their brain. Like, it is a big system that we deliver, but it's so effective. It's, we run it, so we usually kick off once every month. I do take a couple months off. So there's always a cohort coming. There's a beautiful community of women that, just like you said, right? Like, we've got two women who've both lost parents in the last couple of months. Like, they are together and they are connecting and they are supporting each other. The whole group is supporting them, but they're sharing. We've got executives of Fortune 100 companies. And so we've got all these other women that are like climbing the ranks and in executive positions. They are coming together, talking about challenges, struggles unique to them. Moms, menopausal women, the whole, it's like this beautiful, I keep saying beautiful, but I'm so inspired by them. I'm so impressed. Conglomerate of women. And then I walk them through the 90 days, and most of them do it, 2 or 3 times, because we realize 90 days is a great kickstart. But right, if you're making a lifestyle change, it's a little bit longer. And really, the women come because their main primary complaint is they want to lose some weight. But they don't want to do it the old way, because it doesn't, right? Didn't work. temporary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't work. Yeah.
Well,
so it's like, we're going to help you lose weight, lose inches, but hey, guess what? We also identified you've got this condition, and it wouldn't have mattered what weight loss program you did until you clean this up.
Yeah.
So then we can help them clean up that terrain and that ecosystem too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really fun. We're 5 years in, great results, and more importantly, like emails and texts that come in years after, like, oh my God, I totally heard your coaching voice about, urges or, sabotaging thoughts or thought errors and all these things. So I know that it's like, I feel good, that it's not this light, fluffy, quick fix thing. It's like, this is really changing women's lives. That's my core value.
Right, right. I love that you're saying this, and I love that you're doing this. One of the things that I talk about a lot is, when it comes to the fad diets and the things like, it just gets me, the Nutrisystems, and the companies that are out there who are there to have you pay them monthly for trash food. It's just all fake food, and it's damaging. And so it's that, or it's the constant supplements. So it's none of it is actually creating change or actually teaching what real food is, or actually showing what it's like to feel good. You may drop some weight, but then what happens once you stop paying them, you're like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to eat. And what happens? You stop paying them, you stop getting the supplements or the food or whatever it is, not food, and you just go right back because you haven't been taught, because we all need to be taught, I have to be taught, what it's like to change, to live the lifestyle that's going to create health. So many of us are just disconnected from our bodies, from our food. We just don't know, and that's okay, because you just didn't have to find the people who do know, which is why we're the nerds about this stuff, because that's what we like to do. But to help you and show you what it's like to, like you said, to get through the river and get to the other side and go, okay, I get it now. I know how to live a healthy lifestyle, and sometimes I'm going to cheat, and that's just part of it. But then I know how to keep moving forward. I kind of hate the word cheat. It's you have.
I hate that too. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, it's still we make decisions. I did a post the other day on Facebook, and I was talking about how I used to celebrate Valentine's Day with lots of food and dinner and the desserts, the healthy desserts and stuff like that. And it's like, this year I probably just have a little chocolate, and it's fine one way or the other. And my husband brought home salted caramel ice cream. Yep. So that was amazing.
You're right.
Yeah.
Your brain was exploding with guilt. It was like, yes.
It was so good.
I love this man.
Yeah. But it's so much a part of it is the learning that you don't have to feel bad when you do it, and this life is meant to be enjoyed, but we also want to be healthy so we can enjoy it. So and I also hate moderation. I hate the word, everything in moderation makes me crazy, because it's not about that. That's such a relative term, but it's about knowing and being educated and then living a life that is going to build you up and then build others up around you. I mean, that's kind of what you were saying. That's the goal, is to build others up around you. And this life has so much to offer. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm rambling.
Yeah. No. You're not rambling at all. What's coming up for me is for anyone listening who is doing I don't even want to name them, but the Weight Watchers or the Slimgenics or the news, although that's a little bit better with mindset coaching or Nutritionist, whatever, right? I always say it's like, good for you for doing something.
Yeah.
Right? Clearly you're still, at least you're still in the game and you're still invested and you're trying and you've done nothing wrong. And that's totally fine. If you want to do that and it works for you, I love you, I support you. I just want people to know, women, men, everybody to know that there's another way to do it. if there's a different way to do it, there's lots of options available to you, and keep looking.
Right.
And be willing to try something else, right? Because it's like, I don't know, we can fall into it. I mean, I've bought things too where I'm like,
sure.
Really? Right? Like, we all do it. But what I think I see when that happens is like, at least you're still trying. You've not given up. So keep trying, and know that there is something else out there for you.
Yeah.
And it could be completely different from you. And from you and I's value perspective, right? You're creating genuine health. Like genuine, deep, root core health, so that when you are lean and strong, right, and you're at that body composition weight, you actually get to have longevity on this earth to enjoy it.
Right.
That is like such a beautiful thing. So it's anybody listening, there's more out there available to you.
Yeah.
But keep trying.
Yeah, I agree, and I like the way that you put that. My history is with my mom and the constant Nutrisystem foods, and then just in my heart knowing the toxicity of those foods. It just that's what makes me just crazy, is that they're so toxic, and it's
crushing.
It is crushing. Yeah, it's a hard thing to see and to watch. So
Yes.
But thank you for that. I totally agree, because I know that there's a lot of the feeling of defeat, but keep searching, because the answers are out there, whether it's weight or chronic symptoms or whatever it is that you're dealing with, the answers are out there, and remember that, this is your body talking to you. If you're unable to lose weight, if you're unable to gain weight, if you're having symptoms, if you have a disease, these are symptoms that your body's saying, hey, I now need you to jump in and help me, because I can't do this on my own anymore. So the answers are out there. We don't have symptoms just because. Body doesn't go, okay, well, today I'm just going to give you knee pain just because it's fun.
Right? But nobody tells you that.
Yeah,
This is so interesting. It's like, there's not a lot of, you don't grow up with like your parents being like, ooh, you have this skin rash that's all over your body. It's your body's way of saying like, oh, we got to go in. Do you have parasites? Do you have food allergies? Like, do you have gut dysbiosis where it was leaking? Like, nobody tells us that, to say like, listen, there's a voice inside of your body, and the only way it can communicate is through symptoms.
Right.
Rather, they're just like, this is just life. Let's just go. Like, deal with it. It's just who you are. Never buy that. Right?
Yes.
Always keep seeking. Be willing to continue to seek.
Yes.
Always. Even when you are like, oh my God, I feel so great. Yay. Like let's totally celebrate that. And just keep going. You never know what you're going to find.
Yeah. So another quick story. Just last night, I was at just a networking event and met a woman who was just diagnosed with celiac disease. And so we got into, it was a pretty quick conversation, but, I was talking to her. I said, I see a lot of people with autoimmune conditions, and started talking a little bit about, digging into why. She goes, I never thought about why. I just thought that I was supposed to eliminate. You eliminate gluten. You have celiac. What you do is eliminate gluten, and so she's frustrated because gluten's in everything. And that if I never see her again, and if I and this is what I would hope for anybody I come in contact with. Of course, I hope I do, because I think I can help. But is that impression to ask the question why. Always dig and always ask the question why. There's a reason for it. You got to dig for it, and or find somebody who knows how to dig for it. But I pray truly that made an impression on her. And she says, okay, so there's more to this story and not just a diagnosis, right?
Always.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a story. There's always something that has led up. There's always something that created it.
Right. Absolutely.
I love, okay, I'm going to say this, but thank God that we have doctors, and thank God we have clinical medicine. And if but if you're given a diagnosis, exactly like you said, why? Yep. Where did it stem from? Yep. What's the pathway? What's the root cause? How do we go there? Because if that's, if it's like you have a flat tire, Why? Oh, you got a nail in it. Go get the nail out and then patch it.
Yeah.
Find the source
Yeah.
and know that that is always available to you, and there is always a reason. There is always a reason, everyone.
Yes.
Go get it.
Always, always, always. I'm going to do a quick break and give a shout out to our sponsor, Cellcore Biosciences. Do you use Cellcore at all?
We do use Cellcore. Yeah, I just got a big package from them yesterday.
I'm waiting on a big package from them. Awesome.
Thank you, Shannon Boucher.
Yeah.
Let's give her a shout out. Everybody,
Yay,
call Shannon
Shannon.
Boucher,
Yeah.
a practitioner, and want Cellcore.
Yes. I actually had her on the show a couple of months ago, and it was so much fun because all we did was talk about parasites and worms.
Isn't it fun? We get excited about that. I'm like, ooh, yeah, let's do that.
I know it's really
we're the
weird.
weirdos.
But it is. It's this amazing thing, and I the more I learn, because that's the best thing about life is learning. But after Cellcore, I'm digging in deeper and deeper and deeper into parasites and into worms, and going through my own experience with all of this, and then seen clients, and then of course other clinicians and practitioners who are in their experiences with the products, because what we're finding is parasites and worms are rampant, and they're not coming up on labs a lot of the times. Worms don't come up on labs. And something that I want to put out there, I say this a lot because I think it makes sense. I grew up with animals. I'm a horse girl. My master's is in animal science. So I know that with farm animals, with our home animals, which I don't do this, but is we worm them on a regular basis because they're going to get parasites. Yeah. And we're in a place as a society where we don't naturally worm ourselves anymore. There was a time when we did. We would eat the plants and the herbs and the barks and the things that would help our bodies to eliminate these parasites and these microbes that can create oh gosh, I can't talk, create lots and lots of issues for people. They can trigger autoimmune diseases. They can make PMS. This is something that I hear a lot, is PMS can be so extreme, and it can be because your body is unable to fight the microbes that are sitting in it. So that's the amazing thing about Cellcore. They are innovative in their approach. They're innovative in their delivery system of the herbs that they use. They get deep into the cellular level. And I don't know about you, but I've not seen supplements work the way, in a lot of cases, in directed in the way that they need to be directed, but work the way Cellcore products work. It's crazy cool. I won't get into a lot of detail. Maybe one of these days I will. But
maybe that's like a private show.
Oh, maybe. I know. It's kind of crazy. But for your benefit, I'll tell you that I'm on my 4th full moon cleanse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it is they're out there to do the right thing for the practitioners, and then for the practitioners' clients and patients. So I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful that they're a sponsor of the show, and I appreciate them a ton. You can only get the products through practitioners who carry them. So of course, the two of us carry them, and then there are more and more out there because it's such a great company and great products. So. And they have tons of data on their website. Go to cellcore.com. They've got tons of data on their website. It's good stuff. We love data. So let's move into the fun things that you're doing for practitioners now, because this is what's exciting, and what I think any of us who are entrepreneurs, but those of us who, I called the title of the show was Nutripreneur. It wasn't me, actually. It was my assistant who helped me with that one. I was like, perfect. But this is not easy. Building a business is not easy. Wearing 400 hats is not easy. Knowing who your target market is, who your clients are, how to market, where to market, all of the things that come with building a business. And I know that you experienced these frustrations early on as well. So what was your turning point from struggling nutritionist is kind of my assumption is where you were, to being confident in how to structure and build a really robust business.
You know, the turning point specifically, if you're in Denver, was at the corner of Mexico and Colorado Boulevard. I can tell you exactly.
I love that.
I should write a book about it.
Yeah.
I had almost, listen, everybody listen if you're an entrepreneur, okay? So I had just dropped off my kids at school when there was no school, because I was like just doing everything and constantly stressed out and going and going and going and going and going. So I had like brought them to school and I was like, oh God, there's no school. Okay. Pivot, right? So quickly pivoted, found somebody to watch them, racing up to my office, almost got in an accident, was probably texting somebody, I'm not gonna lie, right? Probably texting a client. And my heart was racing and I was like, I am killing myself. I am killing myself for my business. I am living an incongruent life. I'm looking at these clients, telling them how to behave and change their lives, and I am a S show over here. And I was like, this has to change. I cannot keep doing this. And I'm not saying this just because I am a business coach, but it was like, I need help. And that's big for me because I am very much a lone wolf, and I'm like, let's go, and I do everything by myself. And I was like, I need help.
Yeah. And
so I invested in a coach. And I am so thankful.
Yeah.
And I have invested in multiple coaches. I'm just kicking off with a new sales and marketing coach today, because like every coach that I've invested in was strategically vetted and picked for different times and shifts and growth periods in my business. So thankful that I was willing to, one, recognize that I needed help, two, go out and find it, and three, pay for it, because it is expensive. Like my most expensive coach was $50,000 for 6 months. Woo! And I made that money back, like, but I was like, you know what you do when you pay $50,000 for 6 months? You show up at a higher level than you ever thought was possible. And I was like, I'm making that money back, and I tripled that money.
Nice.
So it was like, great, my best money spent.
Amazing.
So that was the turning point. That is my most grateful time in my business. Well, I've had so many, but that was seriously, that was game changer. Yeah. Because honestly, it was the point. It's like, you got to get out, Rachel, or you got to go in, but you got to go in different. And it was like, I don't want to get out. I don't want to go sling windows and doors to Home Depot anymore.
Well, and that's so often, that's the motivator. It's the, I don't want to go back to where I was. There is something more. I can do this. And it's just like with, if you're struggling with symptoms, if you're struggling in your business, you have to find help, because somebody's going to know how to help you. And be strategic about it. Be strategic about somebody who can help you. And which is why I love so much, we coach, whether it's in nutrition or in business, so often because we've been there, right? We have our story. This is my story, so I came through it, and I want to help others come through it. And this is, I think, it's the same way with being an entrepreneur, being a business coach. You had your story, and so you had the struggling business story, came through it, and now you can help others. And I think it's amazing, and I think it's so much fun. And the fact, of course, that you have such a specific niche, and again, that's what we're taught, is you have to niche, and for you to be out there helping those of us who all we want to do is to help others and to bring health to this world, and it's not an easy thing to do. And so I just love what you're doing, and I'm so grateful for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah.
You know what? It honestly, it helps expand the reach of nutrition therapy and functional health, because yes, we have a thriving business at Whole Woman Health, and we're reaching all these women and clients, but oh my gosh, if I can help another nutritionist stay in the game, and then they can go reach hundreds of clients, and then another one hundreds of clients, like that is when the ripple effect occurs, and that's when we make exponential change. So I totally, of course, believe in functional health and nutrition.
Sure.
And I also know how hard it is. It is, right? And so I know every one of those nutritionists out there that are trying to make a go of it, I know exactly how they're feeling. And what I've realized and learned is like, it doesn't actually have to be that hard.
Yeah.
Right? But we're not taught that in school. We're taught nutrition therapy. We're not taught entrepreneurship.
Right.
And we're not taught, quite frankly, self-coaching and coaching your mindset and your feelings around it. Because if you are creating everything in your business, you got to be clean. So it is such an opportunity for any nutritionist out there, is if they're willing to, whether it's me or somebody else,
Sure.
right? Honestly, go and get help and pay for it and make it a business transaction. You will get there so much more, there being your goal, so much quicker, and with a lot less pain and suffering.
Right. So talk about what you do when you're working with your business owners. What are the things that you do to help?
Yeah, so it's interesting with six-figure nutritionist is yes, I have my niche, but I don't have my niche in the sense of like, I only work with nutritionists who are ready to do six-figure launches. It's not like that. So I really cherry pick who I work with. And it could be, I work with women nutritionists who are at 500K wanting to go to $1 million, and I work with the ones that have like 0. And honestly, when people say like, what do you do for them? We identify their goal, and I help coach them to that goal. Whatever it is, right? Like in all my experiences, it's very personalized. It's not cookie cutter. It's not, here's this worksheet for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Watch this video. It's me and you, and we are creating the magic, and we're going to get you there however I need to get you there with all my tools and modalities, not just from personal experience, but also from what I've invested in.
Sure.
So it's like nutrition therapy. It's for now, it's individualized. We have some masterminds. I'm holding off for now, just until things calm down and we can all be together again.
Okay.
Yeah. So the mastermind, we're just gonna wait until we can all like go to a beautiful location in Maui or something and be together and kick off. And I'm just taking, a handful of clients that I can really dive deep with.
Nice. Good for you. So my understanding, because you have, I think I saw on your website you talk about the mastermind. So right now you're working one-on-one with with people who are trying to build their business, and then the mastermind will come when more of a retreat style. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Honestly, this is what I believe in business. Is it's got to be fun. I'm just not willing to do it anymore if it's not fun. And so I'm like, you know what? When I'm ready to kick off a mastermind, I'm going to totally kick off a mastermind. I don't know when it's going to be, but it is definitely going to be where we all go together and we start with like this deep dive, intentional creation of our business, and then it will expand. Usually I do 6 months, and then so after that, every 6, we'll be meeting. But I'm not doing it right now. I'm just gonna wait. I'll let you all know when I decide we're gonna do it.
No, I love that, and I love having the flexibility and just working with people who are just excited and ready and willing is you'll have all of those people who want to go with you because I think everybody's ready to get out and go. And I mean, I think that's kind of on my list is the work vacation that is the retreat, but I can still be there and work and powwow and learn and figure things out and what's it going to take to continue to move to the next level. So that's the way to work.
Oh my gosh, your brain, I swear, it's not only getting away from your current everyday environment, more areas of your brain, so you're at a deeper thinking level, but then you're sitting in a room with like-minded people and their brains are elevated, and what we know about energy, right, we're all going to fund this, so naturally everybody's vibration is going to rise, right, and that is when things occur that you're like, that blow your mind. You're like, I never had access to that. Sitting in my office right here. because your brain wasn't activating, wasn't charged with all of that. So that, I think, is, I will do Mastermind, because that is like, oh my God, I get giddy talking about it. I get so excited talking about it. But when you see that and you witness that collectively, you're like, oh my gosh, wow, this is women right here ready to change the world because of this moment. It's so cool.
I love that. I love that. So I was doing a little digging on your website, and so I was just looking at some of the things that that go into your what you help people with, and I think it's kind of basic, but it's also it's important and has to go deep, because if we don't know to do these things as business owners, things can get missed, and then we struggle, and we continue to struggle. So you have on here the entrepreneur's mindset, of course, sales and marketing, brand development, organization and time management. That's a big one. What's a big one for me? And then, of course, scalability. And that was a thing that took me a long time to figure out is, I'm just a nutritionist. How do I scale? And those are always, having somebody to support you in all of those areas, I think is just really, really important, especially when we know that there are weak spots. Like I know I have weak spots with organization and time management.
Okay, we can coach on that.
I know.
Totally available to you if you'd like.
Oh man, I know. But I appreciate that you cover all of those, because it's so important. Well, and I would say that in marketing. Marketing sucks. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know.
Oh, what?
Is that the wrong thing to say? Yeah, and I think
no, it's not the wrong thing. It's like it's what everybody feels.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate.
It is, because if it's not
right.
One of the most important things, but you have to know how to do it, and you can spend a lot of money, and you can spin your wheels, and it can get really frustrating, especially in an environment we're in now, where things are changing, algorithms are changing, marketing platforms are changing, all of the social media. It can be really, really overwhelming, and so I'm sure that is a huge part of coaching. You said your package is 6-month coaching package. Is that right? Or did you say?
I do 6-month coaching packages.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a lot of it is, there is a ton of marketing, but here's the thing that every entrepreneur in every industry, but mainly I'm talking to my people, right, is it has to start with your mindset. It has to. I have to coach you. I have to teach you to coach yourself. Yeah. Because everything starts there. Your marketing is creating from your mindset. Your scalability is created from your mindset. Your organization and your processes is created from your mindset. So if that's not clean, like that, talk about root cause. Root cause is that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then everything else is created beyond that. And yes, marketing is what gives you clients.
Right.
And so if it sucks and you hate it, what I see is clients trickle in, and it's not like they're not your best clients, and you're always like hunting for clients. Like then it does create a little bit of awfulness. So you can totally flip that. It's possible. Yes, it's totally possible. Everybody hear that?
This is
marketing.
This is a coachable moment.
It's a totally clean up your mindset.
I know.
Embrace the marketing.
It is. Okay.
You're great at marketing. I've seen you. I've seen what you put out there. You're great at it.
Well, thank you. I do a lot, and sometimes it just gets a little overwhelming, and so that's where the mindset comes from. But it's part of it. And I think what I need to do is just be grateful for the ability to market. Every morning, I need to come in with gratitude for marketing. So, mind shift. It's a mind shift, right?
Mind shift, and maybe coming at it from not marketing but serving, because every time you put content out, you're serving people. Yeah. And that's quite frankly, that's your job, right? To serve them and help them have better lives.
Yeah, it is. And really, it's fun too. When the part that's fun is when people start interacting with you, and you can then serve. Because sometimes you feel like you're just putting stuff out there and nobody sees it, but they do see it, and I know that they see it, especially when, people say, okay, I'm having this struggle, can you help? I'm like, yeah, let's have a conversation about it. So, or I can point you in the right direction, and that's of service as well, as I may not be able to, but I know who can, and I love that. Yeah, that's cool. Anything that you want to say? We've got about 3 minutes left that you want to make sure that people know, that people hear. Of course, everybody needs to know where to find you and all of the good things, but make sure that you say anything that you want to say.
Oh my gosh, that's a pressure. What do I want to say? I would say whether you're an entrepreneur or you are a potential client for nutrition therapy, wherever you are, like whatever you're doing, not often enough do we hear that we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So you're doing a good job. Trust that, believe that, right? Because the alternative, that's not fun, and it's totally optional. So you can believe one route or you can believe the other, and sometimes you just need to hear you're doing a good job. And if there is like an inkling of more, right, and you want more and you desire more, then be willing to take some type of action to do it. And it doesn't have to be like most people are like, oh my God, I have to go change everything. No, I do not recommend that. It's just, if you want something different, all it is 1 degree shift. It's one step, one decision, 1 degree, and once energy starts moving, then it's going to be a lot easier. So be willing to do that. Be willing to come into something, whether that something is yourself or investing in getting help from nutrition therapy, from you, from me, from coaches. Be willing to invest if you want something different, because it's totally possible. And be ready that when you make change, there's going to be a river of misery like we talked about. It's okay. Yeah. It's supposed to happen. Yeah. Look for it, expect it, because that's when the greatest things happen on the other side. And I want you all to experience that. I want everybody to experience the other side.
Right.
So that's what I would say. And how you find me is on all the usual social media outlets, wholewomanhealth.com for nutrition therapy, weight loss, functional health, and sixfigurenutritionist.com if you're looking for entrepreneur coaching, specifically in health coaching, nutrition therapy, some type of alternative or holistic medicine.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for being here. This was really fun. We'll have you on again for sure, and dig in a little bit deeper. But thanks everybody for joining us. Nikki Burnett, Taste Life Nutrition, and this is Taste Life Nutrition Radio. Of course, you could go to tastelifenutrition.com or to any of the social media platforms and find Taste Life Nutrition. You can go to the website and you can fill out a free assessment. And I will reach out to you personally, and we will talk about what's going on, if there are issues that you're dealing with, if there are things that I can help with, or if we need to find other avenues for you. So, but we will talk about it and dig in a little bit, see what we can do. Of course, we offer functional nutrition services. We've got our Body Bliss course available, 12-week course, and we have our foundational nutrition group coaching that is also